Mic check. Shalom, shalom, shalom. What's good, my brothers?
Yo, shalom, shalom.
Yeah.
Shalom, shalom, shalom.
Yeah. Shout out to the world out there, all our listeners and viewers, to the fourth principle. We greet you in the love and light of the infinite and only creator of the universe. We greet you in shalom.
Came. Making sure everything's good. How was y'all week this week, my brothers?
Yeah, the week was busy.
Yeah.
The week was very interesting. In a good way.
Okay.
Okay. Right on.
So yeah, let's go ahead and get started.
All right. Well, again, if you're tuning in with us this afternoon, thank you. Toda. We appreciate it. We got a good show lined up this afternoon. Good discussion. And this week, or today, should I say, we're going to talk about the Christ consciousness to chakras and their relationship with creation, or to creation.
Okay. It's going to be good, pretty good.
Right. And once again, we're not telling anybody to believe anything that we're saying.
Right.
We're only sharing a perspective where we have obtained different fragments of understanding, and we're bringing them together to harness a greater understanding.
Right.
So, again, if you're out there, you hear something, you agree with it or you don't agree with it, you want to ask us a question, feel free to do so.
Right.
All right, let's get it.
Put it in the chat. You see the video later on. Put it in the chat down on YouTube or on Facebook. We'll get back with you. We'll answer the question.
Yeah, man.
We ain't scared. We ain't never scared. All good.
All right, so how you brothers want to, where you want to start at with this one?
Well, we left off with the Christ consciousness, right?
We did.
Right.
And I guess in a rendition that we talked about, like the Christ consciousness or the Christ, or that the one created all. And through that one is many different emanations, different creations of dimensions and realities and so on and so forth. So we're going to get into how the chakras actually align with each different density.
And let me ask you this, Kazak.
What's that?
Okay. You say 1 sec, or what's that?
I said, what's that?
Oh, in you explaining, or as we cover this topic, would you mind giving a very brief synopsis as to why this may be important in this particular time period?
Well, in this time, and I have notes, but as we talk about the different densities, and how they relate to the chakras,
right?
We're living in a time where they call it a New Age movement, but really, it's what it is a spiritual awakening. And as we get into the densities, you're gonna understand that we're kind of like we've been for a long time in what we call the third density, and we're actually, some would say we are in the fourth density now, and then some would say we're kind of like moving. We're like in a cusp in between, and what that means is, amount of awareness or the consciousness is expanded to where more information and veils are being dropped. I talk more about veils as we move on. But people, they're talking about chakras, right? Which are energy centers in the body. But how does that relate to creation as a whole? How does it relate to the mineral kingdom, earth, or elements?
Right.
Fire, wind, water, ether. How does it relate to the realm of movement, the animals, the plants, microbiology, and so on and so forth? How does it relate to, where we are now, which is we have what we call choice. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So and it goes beyond, this physical body, and it continues to go until we move back into the grand consciousness, the one consciousness, or the Christ consciousness. So that's what it's about. So to summarize it, moving into, or as we move through the fourth density, consciousness and awareness is expanding, and these things are needed to discern what's really happening and going on. Let me not say need, because it's only going to attract those who are aligned to it.
Right. Absolutely. And I would even add that I think that these particular ideas, even though they've been around for quite some time, I think that they were reserved in terms of their expression now to culminate well, let me back up. I think that they were reserved for this period of time in order to help people achieve spiritual ascension. Mm. And not just this isolated topic in and of itself, right? There are several components that are necessary, right? So for an example, and if you're wondering like, okay, well, why are y'all talking about this? Right? And if you've probably seen the episodes where we talk about who is the fourth principle, right? These particular topics are relevant for us because, one, it helps us discern a question that I think all of us probably deal with at one point in time or another, which is, why am I here? What am I put here to do?
Right.
What is the significance of my relationship with this person or this experience? Right. And again, some of us are attached to different text, which there's nothing wrong with that, right? But I'm of the opinion that any text that we read is a redaction of more information that has been spread out across the globe. And it's been in the hands of different people. And I'm not here to discuss the intentions of those people, not at this particular time, right? But again, it's bringing those elements, those different fractals of awareness, bringing them back together, right, for the purpose of soul development. And probably in another show we can talk about, like, as you learn these lessons, right, and your soul develops to a place which is appropriate, right, you take these lessons with you through the gate of death.
Right.
Right, and that's the other side that we really don't know anything about. But yeah, let's get it.
Okay. I guess I could start off in explaining, like, when I say density, what that means.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So first and foremost, there's more than 7 chakras. I mean,
right.
In the human body alone, there's hundreds, maybe thousands, hundreds. Right. But then also you go from your root chakra to your crown. Then you have like another, what we got, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, like another 5. I'm not going to get into those 5. I'm going to deal with the one that we deal with normally, which is the 7. Right. So 7 is an important number that we humans utilize to gain an important understanding of the metaphysical structure of the universe and soul's development. Mm-hmm. The 7 densities of consciousness corresponds to each of the 7 energy centers in our body.
Right.
Okay. And you have several musical notes on a scale. You have 7 colors of the rainbow.
Exactly.
So on and so forth. We talk about the 7 hermetic principles or laws that govern the universe. The universe is the mechanism that the one infinite creator, it allows the one infinite creator to know and experience itself. Okay? There are infinite universes, and the one that we exist in is just one of an infinite number of octaves or realities, right? Mm-hmm. The evolution of consciousness in each reality or octave works in 7 major stages or densities. So again, I'm going to say that the evolution of consciousness. So when I talk about density equals a level of consciousness. If you want to say measurement, but a level of awareness, a level of consciousness, right?
Right.
A density represents the entanglement of light or energies.
The entanglement of light.
Yes, the entanglement of light within a certain vibrational range.
Right.
So the lower the density, the slower the vibration.
Right.
Or should I say the slower the vibratory rate and the less capacity for the expression of consciousness. You want me to say it again?
And is that based on your ability to perceive light?
That depends. So the question will be, can a rock perceive light? Does a rock need to perceive light?
I got you.
A rock is vibrating at the lowest vibrational frequency. So then I would say the need to perceive light, I don't think a rock needs that. So a rock is just being.
Right.
It just is, right?
It just is. For millions and millions and what we perceive in our perception of what we call time.
Right. So as we talk about these different densities that you're discussing, right? As you ascend up.
If we're going to use direction, yes.
Okay.
Because we could say extend up or expand out. So it just depends on what works better for the audience as far as to get a frame of reference of understanding.
But nonetheless, you're growing.
You're growing.
Okay.
Or you see you see how this works?
It's okay. You do it.
Or you're returning.
Or you're returning.
Exactly.
Right. So anything else?
No. Go ahead.
It's kind of like, let's say we have the creator.
Right.
And his vibration goes out or expands out.
Expands out.
And it goes all the way down to a rock.
Yes.
Where what would be, like you say, a lower, maybe the furthest, maybe, I'm not saying that it is, furthest away from what we understand consciousness to be.
Yes.
So I just want to.
And the range in between, the creator's experiencing every infinite possibility of ranges from the rock back to the source.
Right.
So we don't understand that. We don't understand that source is in this moment is just being.
Right.
And if it wants to pull its consciousness away from that rock, it's experiencing Malak.
Right.
It's experiencing Zokane. Right. It's experiencing as Kazakh. Right. And et cetera, et cetera. And then it could pull its consciousness away from that. And it's like, I'm a universe. I know all things. And it just keeps going infinitely down and infinitely up.
Right.
We can't perceive or conceptualize, but we're just sharing to make it make sense the best we can. Right? So the higher densities have a faster vibratory rate and more ability to express consciousness in its fullness.
Right.
This is what drives the engine of evolution. Evolution is a fundamental principle within the universe. Everything in creation must be an authentic, organic experience. So I can't take what Malak tells me, that everything that happened to him went this in that way or whatever the case may be, and take it on as my experience.
Right.
Because now we fall into the realm of belief.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Right. But it's not to say you can't take it on and roll with it, and then things happen for you uniquely from a lot based on what he told you.
Right.
But now that's what you experience after that is your experience, your personal experience, and that's how we actually grow, at least physically, and then consciously.
Right. Man, I was just listening to a video, and I think the guy called it like a parody when you're trying to copy someone else's
blueprint.
Yes.
Like like they do Michael Jackson or something.
Right.
They all emulate that, which you shouldn't be that. You should take the mind thinking of Michael Jackson and his creative thoughts and put them into your thing
and become something new.
Yes.
Yes.